Hello and welcome to World in 5. The city was over the past week a hive of activity as parents and guardians engaged in last-minute rush to acquire items for their children's back to school. Majority of parents have been left bankrupt by the skyrocketing school costs. More in the following report.
Education in Zimbabwe is becoming an overwhelming burden, draining parents with exorbitant demands. The rising costs associated with schooling are leaving parents financially strained, making education increasingly inaccessible. A recent survey revealed that education is slipping beyond the reach of many low-income families. Beyond school fees and levies, parents are struggling with the high cost of essential items. These include stationery, uniforms, food, toiletries, transport, among others.
I can say we are financially drained because the prices from NB, the other things were very expensive.
Stationery ilikuwanika zvayo apo napo but obviously kuitenga kwatotenga kwakachipa tita kuti tenga ku black market ndokwati ino yakati ichipe tikapinda edu mashops sometimes ma price mwateta kurowa na shops anenge akati kwire saka ndakaenda kunzo kundona zimunguwa zine zvakati chipe.
An ECD learner requires at least $500 United States for school fees, uniforms, and other necessities on the first day of school. For parents with Form 1 students enrolling in boarding schools, the cost is no less than $1,200 United States for uniforms and school fees. Many schools, despite government calls against the move, have compounded the issue by being the sole suppliers of uniforms and school books. The prices are exorbitant, often triple those of retailers, which are already considered expensive in the local market. While authorities claim parents have the freedom to purchase uniforms elsewhere, this is not a reality on the ground.
Nyaya school fees kuma government school so far vabereki vazhinji vari kuchema kuti izvezvi hakuna mwana achapinda muklasi asina mari school fees yakakwana. Iyezve ma school fees achari kunzi akakwira. Ma uniform ari kuti vanoda ma uniform anotengerwa pachikoro. Yeti ma uniform acho anenge achidhura zvakare saka zvinhu zviri kutoomera vabereki.
Much like an avenging spirit, school costs have left parents financially drained and in debt. The back-to-school period is something they wish to quickly forget.
Marondera High needs $600 for fees and levies for Form 1's uniforms at NB. Goromonzi needs at least $700 United States in fees and almost another $700 in uniforms at the school. For a beginner at Serima High, at least $1,000 is needed for fees and all the uniforms and other costs at the school. Last term, parents paid around $460 in fees, and this term there has been a slight adjustment to $500. Bradford private school needs at least $700 in fees for infants. There is a separate supplier for uniforms. The Meteorological Services Department, MSD, expects heavy rains and thunderstorms over much of the country up to January 21, with the possibility of flooding in some areas. The wet weather conditions are, however, not related to Tropical Storm Dikeledi, which is currently affecting parts of Madagascar and the Indian Ocean region. In an advisory issued on Friday, the MSD warned of significant rains in Matabeleland North, Mashonaland West and Manicaland provinces, with potential localized flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas. It urged residents of these areas to adhere to safety measures during storms. The advisory indicates that there is a high likelihood of partly cloudy, warm and thundery conditions throughout the specified period. While Dikeledi will remain far from Zimbabwe, the country can anticipate heavy rainfall and thunderstorms. Health and Childcare Ministry wants the National AIDS Council to look for alternative funding and not rely on the AIDS levy and dwindling donor funding. Minister Mombeshura was speaking at the inaugural briefing meeting for the new NAC board in Harare on Friday. More in the following report.
The minister said reduced donor funding meant the new board has to look outside the box. In the past, the AIDS levy and donor funding was driving HIV programs, with the country recording great success.
The AIDS levy has been a vital domestic resource complemented by significant funding from the donor community. The HIV funding the HIV funding landscape continues to change, with donors gradually reducing funding for the response. The board should explore and implement further approaches and ideas for increasing domestic financing.
Among countries that were greatly affected by HIV, Zimbabwe has become one of the success stories in Africa, but fears were that reduced funding could negatively affect strides made.
Your decisions and actions will determine the Council's ability to deliver impactful programs and achieve HIV and AIDS national targets and global requirements. The Council further plays an extended role of dealing with other emerging public health risks and challenges, which the board must be alive to.
The incoming chairperson said the focus will be on strengthening partnerships to achieve set objectives.
As we move forward, my focus, together with my board, will be to strengthening our partnerships, improving our services delivery, and ensuring that we are reaching to those who need support the most.
The incoming board is determined to ensure the term will be a success.
Let us continue to work towards a future where every Zimbabwean has access to services and support they need to live healthy and fulfilling lives. On behalf of the board, we pledge, Honorable Minister, our commitment to serve the nation and do our best during our tenure of office.
A new term for these board members, but the same mandate and challenges ahead. Can they live up to expectations? For ZTM Prime, I am Sataji Sewekwaza.
That's all we had for you on World in 5. Good afternoon.